Welcome to ANX Gamecast, level 106. I'm Unbiased Ann. I'm here with Genesis and Terrence. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Good. What's going on? I'm tired. Stayed up too late.
Doing
We did
what?
stay up late.
Watching a movie with Mike B.
Okay.
Called One Piece.
Yeah.
When you come over to what? You did text me late last night. It was later than normal.
That's when we pretty much started the movie.
What?
Yeah, we started it late.
What?
And I usually fall asleep.
Yeah, because it was 11.
That was 11:15.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, I just thought it was like that in text like, hey, we're gonna do this tomorrow, and I was like, cool.
No, I was still up. I ain't go to bed till 2 something. So
Oh no, I wouldn't say it.
concerned about the coronavirus. Anyway,
All right. Well, what are you guys excited to talk about?
Terrence,
Street Fighter.
you excited to talk about Senran Kagura?
Yeah, I sure am.
Get out of here. I'm excited to talk about Neon Genesis.
I'm excited to talk about Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get to the social media thing, which is not the social media thing. I think I said over 100 times where you can find ANX Gamecast on social media. So go check us out there. Shout out to everyone listening, audio only. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever it says, hit the button. And if you want a different experience with your podcast, check us out. This podcast will be available on YouTube, so you can see us. You can see my Umbrella Corp
Which is more
shirt.
fun.
It's some more fun? Okay. Well, find us on YouTube, AVersion space TV. Make sure to follow us there. Hit the notification bell so you'll be first to know when we drop new videos. Let's get right into
Round one.
and let's talk about the anime that we're currently watching.
Terrence.
What you got?
So I'm watching Senran Kagura.
By yourself?
Yeah, because I don't want to. I had the children, so
Oh, what? No, whatever.
Wait, I don't get it. What do you mean?
Children don't know. Your children don't know what's going on.
What does that mean by yourself? I don't get the joke.
Okay. So Senran Kagura is about a group of ninjas, females, who are heavily busted,
Oh, okay.
and so they run around, and when they fight, they have these uniforms that they can call forth great power. But if you beat one of those, then everything is exposed.
What?
Yeah, exposure. So the first season was more calm. Their clothes were destroyed, but they had bikinis on.
Okay.
The second season, they took it to the next level.
It just naked?
Naked. On all God's good whatever.
What?
What is she doing over there?
Sorry.
See, the people on the YouTube get the behind the scenes look at what's going
My
on.
bad.
I'm up here really paying attention.
No,
Like,
I'm listening to him, but I'm just like, oh, I got some hair. Okay, look, all the ladies know out there, when you got hair on you, it's like very annoying. Okay, if you got long hair.
all the single ladies.
The
or just-
ladies.
Okay.
I'm listening, Terrence. Naked women. Okay.
Naked women, and they fight in battle. The good ninjas fight the bad ninjas, and then they have a rogue set. And they had a water gun fight, which is one of the games was water guns. You can run around and shoot each other with water guns. And
So let me get see-through shirts.
see-through shirts, wear t-shirt. And then, but this one, the second season was a little deeper. It seemed like even the art style changed to accentuate
Even more?
Yes, the nakedness of the body.
So it's just full-time fan service.
Yes,
They should just call it that. Full-time fan service.
I think in on Funimation it's under fan service. One of it's under fan service. So it's if you can get past the boobies, and this is the crazy thing, since it's so much.
I'm mad now. I'm mad at Terrence because you got a great game in Dead or Alive that you claim you won't play because it's the booby game, but then you're gonna watch Senran Kagura like it's some like actual good
So
anime.
I'm pretty sure if they
Like-
made a Dead or Alive movie, it would have boobies.
But this is a good game. You trying to tell me that Senran Kagura is like some good anime outside of the boobs? That's what you're trying to tell me?
No, I'm not saying it has a lot of substance.
Okay, yeah, there we go. That's
I mean, it has
all
a-
I was trying to get to.
It has a story, and they have a master who's a ninja. He's a man, and they're all teenage girls. So it's hopefully they're not underage.
Well, you know how they do in the Japanese culture.
Yeah. But he the running joke is every time he comes to teach them, it's always he throws a smoke bomb down and he disappears. And so I mean, it's funny. It is fan service, and I really doesn't have a deep story. Now the second season it's had
it's like just straight up.
It's had a different, I mean, more of a story. But it's not a Death Note or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
But is it funny or?
It is funny.
Okay.
It's funny in a very risque way, because sometimes they say, "Master, are you gonna punish me?" And you're like, "Oh, brother."
You're like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
That's when he sits up and like,
"Oh, what you about to do?"
And then they'll show silhouettes of, and you're saying, "Is that enough, Master? Is that enough?" And then it'll come out, and then she's like giving him a massage on his back massage.
Oh, okay.
So you're thinking in the silhouette, you think she's like doing something else, and then when it comes there, she's like, so it's funny that it's so extreme.
Yeah.
But some of their moves are, like when they have the little special move. Asuka, she has hers is the frog. So when she calls forth, it gives her like quickness and.
You like all these anime with frog girls.
Hey.
My Hero, Senran Kagura.
Yeah. Yeah. But I ain't say I like Senran. I just kind of got caught up in it because once I start something, I'll watch it till it ends. And it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
But at least
I feel like it's already lasted. They got games and all kind of stuff. They got action figures.
5 games?
They got all kind of stuff.
I haven't seen action figures, but it's like 5 games. 5 games in. And people buy them.
Yeah.
People buy them.
So let's move from frogs to turtles.
Unbiased Dan.
What you got?
Okay, so
What you been watching?
Dragon Ball
Same
Z.
thing? You been watching Dragon Ball Z?
Remastered.
Oh, remastered.
It's funny though because so I wanted to watch it. I mentioned it on one of the podcasts because I'm like, I want to know what y'all are talking about. And I actually do like Dragon Ball Z. Well, I like Dragon Ball. I'll just say Dragon Ball. I don't mean like the original Dragon Ball, but just the whole series.
Okay.
I do like it, except I didn't really like Super, and I don't like tons of fighting. I like the story.
Right.
Okay. So
the fluff.
Yeah, I like the fluff. So because I like the characters, so I like watching them interact and like, whatever. But it was funny because we started watching, I was like, I already know this because we just did the game. And a lot of it at the beginning is what we saw in the game that, so I kind of knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to get past that because now I'm just kind of like, I already saw this.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a while because Dragon Ball Z had 300 something episodes?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, I can't tell you right now that I'm going to commit to 300 episodes, but.
Oh, you mean all in all, just the Z?
Just the Z.
And Super has.
I don't know.
So One Piece and Dragon Ball.
But she's seen all the Super already.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to see all the backstories.
I feel like it's either 320 something odd episodes or 380 something episodes. I don't remember in Dragon Ball Z.
But basically, it was like Goku took Gohan to Master Roshi's the Kame house or whatever, and then what's his name showed up.
Krillin?
No. Well, yeah, but the brother or the Raditz showed up, and then they fought just like they did in the game. Like it was, I was just like, I already know what's about to happen.
But it's cleaner because you got the 25th anniversary edition, so it's cleaner.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, I feel like the game is cleaner.
Oh well, sure, but I mean, it's
stuff
cleaner.
Time,
yeah, that stuff was made, even though it's remastered. It was still drawn back in the 80s.
But it's cleaner than the original show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Yeah. So anyway, I like it so far. We only watched a couple of episodes.
Yeah, we watched 3 episodes. So
yeah.
It's time to get back on it.
Genesis.
I hardly ever press that button. If it was all stiff.
It's all hard to push.
Yeah, real hard to push. Neon Genesis, as I'm on the treadmill, losing 1 pound a month.
Well, at least you're losing.
Yeah, I guess. Because I originally went back and I wanted to watch just a couple of episodes to make sure that I wasn't crazy. I think I said this on the show before. It's like the anime that I remember watching making me like anime and be all into anime is way better than the mainstream stuff that's out now. So I started watching it again, and I don't know, it's just a lot more adult. It's just more for adults. Like this stuff is like not for kids, even though the main characters in Neon Genesis are kids.
Correct.
But like this show,
the storylines and
storyline, the relationships, the jokes, and just the severity of the situation, the gore, the psychological trauma that they go through. This is not for kids. Like what Chappelle show? Better not bring your kids. Yeah, and I just feel like regardless if it spans over multiple age groups, stuff like My Hero, like I just feel like it's more lighthearted and kiddish.
I don't think that any of the anime when we were younger was kid friendly. Maybe except some Dragon Ball, because Akira was not.
Ninja
Scrolls.
It wasn't until Pokemon came over, and that was even before Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was already here, but it was being dubbed and produced by a different company. Pokemon came out, and then Dragon Ball Z blew up after that, as far as being a mainstream title. And we know it was edited. Right. Sailor Moon was super edited, and when they stopped doing the edits to Sailor Moon, at the end when they kept editing Sailor Moon, the episodes were like 14 minutes. So they couldn't even air it because they had to cut so much stuff out of it. So it was like
because Sailor Moon was darker than it was led on to be.
Right. Okay. They tried to make it appeal for kids.
Yeah, for
but
sure. But
it's like that show was not for kids either.
No.
Yeah.
And in certain sense, in Dragon Ball Z, I don't want to say it was aimed for adults, but it could have been. I mean, Dragon Ball had a lot of fan service nudity in it. Yeah. Like stuff. It wasn't for kids. It wasn't designed for kids. I'm not saying it was designed for adults, but it definitely was not just for kids.
For a while, they had the Chi-Chi meme floating around. The Chi-Chi and Gohan, Goku meme out where, Chi-Chi was kind of like the war. We'll call it the war. Because, she dated Yamcha and there was a lot of...
you talking about Bulma?
Yeah, Bulma.
Bulma.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, yeah, I remember you telling me about Bulma, how like she used to be
I think for the first time you saw Bulma kind of in her, for me, normal state, halter top, short, a lot of cleavage and all that. I was like, nah, that's Bulma. Yeah. Like, but I think the Bulma you saw was more super, which is more like mom, doctor Bulma, but it's like no, in her younger days, no.
You know what? I think we were watching something and it showed a flashback of Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" And you're like, "No, that's how she was."
Well, she the one who flashed Roshi to get the Dragon Ball. Yeah, and flashed everything.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. You need that Dragon Ball.
Yeah. So it was. I just think that they've kind of, and maybe that's wrenched down some of the sex appeal that was in, or the demons and most stuff they pretty much stay where they are. But even in Pokemon, it's Pocket Monster. So I mean, it just never go dark. Some of the movies have been a little bit more.
Well, I think if you read some of the backstory for the Pokemon, it is darker, but they don't really show that in the anime.
Right.
So.
Well, even Batman. I mean, remember when they originally did it? It was not originally did it. 1989 did it.
That DC Comics just leave a bad taste in my mouth.
I'm just saying. I always thought Batman was like how he was in 1989. I didn't realize until, 10, 20 years later, whatever, that no. Batman was really dark. It wasn't like the Michael Keaton 1989 Batman, where he was
Jack
just
Nicholson.
like a good guy, and Joker was just silly, and Anyway.
So anyway, that's what I've been watching. Okay. Just to make sure I'm not crazy. I just want to, I like to confirm.
Okay. Every now and then.
Yeah. Just, I'm not crazy. I knew this stuff appealed more to me than the current state of mainstream anime.
Well, they're trying. I mean, there's some that are, the Berserk reimagined. It's still Berserk. I don't think they changed anything except maybe the graphics.
The graphics are horrible. And it doesn't come out that often.
You don't like cel shaded?
No, I mean, I don't like those CGI graphics, like the way they did them in the episodes. Yeah, the movie was fine. The episodes were horrible.
I didn't have a problem with that. And then the
what?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I like that they changed it up compared to what I remember when I was a kid. And then we
was talking about the same thing. You talking about the episodes? I'm not talking about the movies, the 3 movies they put out. Yeah, I'm talking about the episodes. Yeah, that was some hot garbage.
Once you, yeah, it's okay.
Well, he was reading the words. Because you watch it in
right, so you didn't care, but you didn't care nothing about the graphics because you were too busy reading them. Okay.
Well, no, I don't have a problem. I can do both, multitask. And then there's the Goblin Slayer. which was another one that was, but they dumbed it down.
Yeah.
Because they got so much backlash about the
racial. You know what that means.
What?
It's time to move on.
Yes.
Let's get into round 2.
Round 2.
We got 2 conversation pieces today. Kind of surrounding Street Fighter 5, which is what we're going to be reviewing today. Which one y'all want to start with? Y'all want to start with the news, which is, PS5 put out their specs, or y'all want to start with the Capcom?
Let's do PS5.
Okay. So PS5 put out their specs. I'm not here to really talk about PS5 specs. But one of the main things that they talked about was the faster loading, and I don't know if you still have your notes of what they said about the loading, but
I just have that it's 100 times faster than PS4. Okay. It's going to basically eliminate loading times.
Cool.
And change the way we disguise loading sections. I think there was more. I didn't finish writing the sentence because I was like, huh? I got a little lost.
Okay. So faster loading times. It's faster. That's what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 5 would really, really benefit from something like this. Now, I'm not sure how much better the graphics can be.
Oh my God. Okay.
I don't really see too much wrong with the graphics where they can be that much better noticeable.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say this is a PS1 versus PS2 thing, but one of the bigger things with the PS2 was the faster loading times. The problem with the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, was it took too long to load, especially when you were comparing it to a Nintendo 64 that had no load time. Yeah. Right. So that was the main thing with PlayStation versus 64. So when you jumped over to PS2, things loaded a lot faster, but it also had way better graphics, right? So I'm not expecting the way better graphics with the PS5, but the load times and I'm playing on the Pro. At first, I thought it was just because I originally played like the arcade edition on the regular PS4. I played this on the Pro, and from end of battle to the next battle, we're talking about like 35 seconds.
But do you think that has anything to do with what we were talking about yesterday on the weekly podcast? The amount of people that are,
No, because this is all offline.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not even playing online.
That's right.
I think this has to do with the amount of content that was released that you had to download to your system, along with the combination of loading stuff from your disc. And those two combinations just leave for long load times. A 35-second load time is not that bad if you're going to get into a screen and stay into that screen for 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours. But no, you're loading up a match where the whole match might only take 45, 50 seconds, especially when I was beating up Terrence on ANX Versus. Just winning consecutive rounds. We don't even go to a third round most of the time.
No.
When I beat him,
we always
down,
went to a third round. Right. It was always a third round. It was always a third round.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. And y'all can go check it out. It's on YouTube right now.
I think it was one, and that was the Halston. That wasn't third round. But all of those,
that was a bunch.
No, because
that was at least 5.
No. Anytime I used Ryu.
Bro, I just watched this last night. Before we did One Piece.
You watched it?
Yeah, because Mike wanted to watch it.
You sit up and watch it. You had some juice?
Mike wanted
and some cookies?
A brookie.
Okay.
A brookie, a brownie, and a cookie.
Anyway, so 35-second load times is a problem when you're only playing something that lasts 45, 50 seconds.
Right.
So that's ridiculous. So I think something like a Street Fighter will greatly benefit from the PS5.
I mean, it's not RPG where you can put the stick down and come back, so it's not that long of a wait. But it is
because it's constant.
It's for every battle, after every battle, and even after the matches, there's like a little bit of a wait.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just hope, because they're just a few things that I read, they are really selling this thing. Oh, this is going to completely transform the way games, you play and games are made.
It's going to be dope. So I think the part that you got stuck on that you maybe didn't understand, which I don't want to get way into it, but usually on open world environments, certain points in times where you get to a new part of the map and that map has to load. And when that map loads, it might take a minute and a half.
Borderlands 3, when you were watching him, like you would get to a place and it would be like a door or like a kind of like a thin invisible door.
Yeah.
And they say, let's move to the next, and then you'll push it, and then it'll go through that little tunnel.
Like a loading, then it'll be a loading screen.
That's a loading screen.
So loading to the new area. So I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be super fast where you initiate the door and it loads fast. I think it's also a situation where I'm getting closer to this door. So the game is going to go ahead and preload what's on the other side of that door. And the system has enough power to still have your current location loaded and another location loaded in the background. So as soon as you hit that door, it's already loaded. It's there.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So it's one or two or a combination of both.
But that's something that's they've always tried to push. It's almost like the iPhone, faster processor. You know, so every year it has gotten better, but it's still always some type of period of time, a lag time.
So your Apple iPhone is kind of like a brookie. It's half Apple, half Samsung.
Never.
Always.
Never.
That's fact. Anyway.
Wait, before we go,
All right.
I was going to
Where
tell
we
you, I did find it, just for clarification, it said, changing the way we disguise loading sections of levels by having the player's avatar travel through in-game corridors.
I don't care about that.
I don't know about in-game corridors.
I was like, quit writing.
So I wonder if that's more like let's load a smaller section that you're going through. So we're designing an interactive loading screen, right? Because we know there have been loading screens where you can press buttons and you can do little stuff with sprites and stuff. Maybe it's one of those situations where it's a designated area that you're going through that you can still play, but it's real small, and while you're in there, it's loading.
Yeah, and
what's at the end of the tunnel?
They put quotes around disguise.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Anyway, I just found it real quick.
So my next problem with Street Fighter, Capcom. It's more of a Capcom, not Street Fighter. Capcom, y'all listening?
I'm sure they are.
Because we know Niantic listens for Pokemon Go. So Capcom, are you out there? You listening? You ain't got nothing else to do. You stuck at the house. Y'all said y'all weren't gonna do this. Y'all said that y'all were not going to put out multiple versions of Street Fighter 5. That's what y'all said.
But you did.
But you did it anyway. Well, Terrence, what you think about this, man? Do you remember them saying that they weren't gonna do this?
Yeah, and yeah, it's true. I mean, we had the first one, 5, and then they had this has been what's the third one?
It's the third one.
And so basically, it makes me feel like the Rice Krispie treat at the convenience store that they conveniently put out the one, but there's 15 in a box below the counter. And so, what's 3 more characters?
I don't know. I know what 2 for sure. Okay. I don't remember.
And that's not enough to sell another $40 game for somebody who, and it was only $40. But if you spent, was it 50 the original?
60.
60. And then what was the next one?
Well, no, I think I got the one with the statue, with the Ryu statue.
Okay.
So I paid 100.
Okay.
Or 80 or something like that.
And that was for the first one. And the second one was what?
I think the second one was 40. I think this one was 30.
Okay. So and I think the second one they added Blanca.
Well, here's the deal. Here's how they tried to do it, but they didn't. Okay, so what they tried to do is we're going to put out more content in these newer versions, but you don't have to go buy it. You can earn it in game with in-game credits, so you don't have to spend $1. But their thinking was flawed because I can use multiple characters. I use one character, and there's only so many tokens that you can earn with one character. You kind of maxed out when we're talking about the regular Street Fighter game. Then you maxed out. So if you wanted more tokens, you had to go through everything you just did except with a different character. And I don't think most people are not willing to do that. They might do it for maybe like one character, maybe 2. But I'm not doing that for 15 characters or 8, 9 characters, however many were in the original, just to have enough tokens so I don't have to spend $40 for an update. Like, it's not worth it to me. I just go spend the $40 because it's not like it's $40 3 months later like normal DLC. It was like 2 years later that the arcade edition came out, and then another year or so after that we're the champion. So and it's the same model. 2K uses it as well. When people play 2K and they get on the court, the model they use is, hey, you don't have to go and earn all your street cred, your VC, and your VC. You can just
go to the store and buy 20,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, rather than. So that's what this game was.
Yeah.
Because it had a card in there, what we was talking about, that a card with a code on it. You put the code in, and it just gives you the characters. So you spent to basically fill out your roster.
Right. And get new costumes.
And new costumes.
So again, they said they weren't gonna do it, but they did it anyway. I mean, I don't know why I believe that they wouldn't do it, because they've always done this. There's always 3 and 4 different versions of every Street Fighter that they put out.
And I think that they think they can get away with it because
people buy it.
And well, they have tournaments. It's one of esports' biggest.
Oh yeah,
right.
You know, they get sponsored. There's a lot of money invested in Street Fighter.
Yeah,
and the matches don't take that long, like we were talking before.
Mm-hmm.
And not even with us playing, just even in tournaments, the average is 60 seconds.
Yeah. If that, well, the tournaments are a little bit long because they do a lot more defense and blocking and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they play more like you. They don't play like me. I beat them up.
I'm very offensive, aggressive driven.
Yeah, my bar is like all the way to the left because they'll show you when you play Street Fighter where are you more balanced or you more defensive, more offensive.
Oh, it tells you how you play.
Mine is way over as far as it can go as far as offensive. I punch and kick and fight. It's a fighting game, not a blocking game.
But you got to block.
Yeah, but part of fighting is blocking.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not fighting. That's blocking.
Yeah, but when you watch a fight, that you have to always be ready.
Any good fighter is not going to sit up there and say, "Hit me in the face 5 times, and then I'm going to hit you in the face 6."
Oh no, Ronda Rousey made a whole living off of that.
For a moment, till she got hit in the
for
face.
a long moment.
Before she get hit right.
Either way, her reign ended.
Right.
Yeah, but for years, that's what she did.
Even part of boxing, when they train you in boxing, they train you how to block.
Correct.
I don't know, man. I don't think blocking is part of fighting.
It is part of fighting.
No.
Now, if that's all you do, then yeah, you need to probably work on your offense.
If somebody, so if I'm wailing on Terrence in real life and he's just doing this the whole time, is he fighting?
Well, it depends.
No.
That's what Muhammad Ali did. Remember that one fight? He let that guy wear out.
And then he fought and punched him in the face and knocked him out.
But I'm saying he was still blocking. That was still part of his strategy.
What's the name? Has made a career. Floyd made a career off being a defensive fighter. He threw some punches, but he was known for being able to outmaneuver you and be a better defender. So, but
you're defending against the fighter. I don't know. There needs to be I just feel like there needs to be a different word, because Street Fighter is notorious because it's so popular. To see videos on YouTube, some of the earliest videos I saw on YouTube were people that got popular off of blocking and parrying. Whoa.
Parrying.
Yeah. Right? It wasn't like, oh, they did this cool combo and they beat this person down or anything like that. It was like, no, they parried everything and then they just countered.
So I remember when I was younger and they had the one with the 2 buttons, the 2 big ones where you would press and whatever. And you had people who would just fireball, and block you into a corner. Fireball. Now, eventually you could jump out of it, but then they'd be waiting for you to jump so they can catch you with that uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fighting.
Either.
I think it is. Because you're attacking the other person.
I mean, there was a couple times he got me in a corner, and I was like, here we go with that stuff. That I get you in a corner and kind of cheese me to death and just whittle away at.
Always with the excuses.
I'm just making
ANX versus. Go check it out. Y'all make your own decision on what happened.
Make your own decision.
But anyway, I don't know what else I got to say to Capcom for doing this again. Actually, I do what I want to say for the next round. So let's go ahead and move into
round 3,
and let's get into the actual review of the game. Terrence, what you got?
So I didn't buy the second one. I did buy the first one, and there were a lot of complaints. You know. It didn't have any story. Everything was pretty much just let's go through. And the story was so little that it would get you through. I think it was like 2 rounds, and then it would go, and then it would stop. There was never like what we grew up on where you had to fight like 8 fighters.
Mm-hmm.
8 fighters to get to, and it was pretty much the same. Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison. That was for everybody. But this one was a little different. And so moving forward to this one, the new characters are fine. I like that. I do like that you may make it through 4 instead of the 3. but it wasn't enough change. And I'm not saying you need to change it. The mechanics still need to be in the mechanics. Street Fighter has never been Tekken or Soul Calibur.
No, but it's still super solid as far as fighting game.
Correct.
Like it's one of the top tier fighting games in my opinion.
Right, and I didn't even mention Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat ain't up there, but for me,
yeah, I didn't mention it because it's more of a gore fest, and most of the other fighting games are strictly about fighting.
Yeah.
So we're not doing numbers anymore, and we did prices.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think $30 is a little bit too much, because an expansion usually, when the game first comes out, is like $30. But this game's been out for a long time.
But let's talk about that real quick. You saying $30 is too much, but you say you did not buy Arcade Edition, and I'm assuming that you didn't unlock everything for free in Street Fighter V. So you're spending $30, but not only do you get everything that came in the Arcade Edition, but you're also getting everything that came.
It wasn't. But at that time, I think it was 4 characters for Champion Edition.
Well, I'm just saying now versus what you had is what I'm saying. So not what you could have gotten based off of Arcade. I'm saying based off what you had with Street Fighter V, never buying Arcade. So
it was too much.
You got all those characters that came with Arcade, and you got all the characters and costumes.
So I got a total probably of 6 to 7 more characters. But it's 6 to 7 more. Because I think through the other one is 4, and then through this one it was 3, so that's 7 more characters.
No. I still think we're talking about 2 different things. There were other characters that were released in like season 2 and season 3 of Street Fighter V that I'm saying that you probably didn't unlock. You also got those characters. So is what I'm saying.
5 came out when? Do you know the date?
2014. I don't remember.
Okay, so it's 2020. That's 6 years later. I don't think that in 6 years it should be that much.
But you're saying it's still a good deal. $30 is still a good deal because you're getting all of those characters.
Yeah, if you, it's not a good deal for me because you bought
those.
I bought Arcade. Not only did I buy Arcade, but I did make it a point to unlock some of the characters when I first played and spend all those tokens. Like when Akuma came out, like I went out and got Akuma. And there was like one other character that I already got. So when I bought Arcade Edition, I didn't get full value because I had already unlocked some of those characters. But if I'm saying for a person who maybe bought Street Fighter V but didn't buy Arcade and didn't unlock a bunch of stuff, I don't think $30 is bad. For people who never played the game ever, $30 is a steal.
Well, I had one, and I had the first one, and then I think I bought the second one, but it was, even if I did, I'm just trying to remember. You had to have the code. It was on a piece of paper. So so everything was papered. So even though they came out with the second one, not champion, but the arcade, it was still based upon a code that was printed on your receipt, which I didn't know. So that's my fault. I thought I got over.
Not quite.
I really still don't feel like it was worth it. To me. And so, I think $20 would have been for this one. $20 would have been good for the code.
Well, I think, but you got to remember, people who don't have the game, the code does nothing for them. Because it's 2 separate things. You have to buy Street Fighter V, but then the code, all the code really does is unlock the DLC update. You don't have to go buy the $30 code. If you just wanted to simply do the update, which that's all the code is anyway, you can go spend $25 in the store and just download all the update. You don't have to go spend $30 on the actual disc.
Yeah, but my price
and the disc came with the code to unlock the download. That was $25.
Most people who have ever played a Street Fighter have a Street Fighter. So now, unless you traded it in to GameStop, it's not enough to go and get another game that adds. And I don't even know if you bought the first one and you didn't buy the second one, you bought the third one, that you get everything.
I believe you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, by that time it didn't. I mean, it's been 6 years.
Because I feel like it's. I could be wrong here, but I'm trying to just going off memory. I believe it's 3, 6, 9, like 12 more characters, 12 plus characters. Again, if you didn't get that arcade edition and over 200 costumes, and
which I care nothing about. And Ryu only had 2. Had the story mode, and he had another one. So I unless it was still downloading skins.
Oh, if you're talking about just based off what we played, no, it had fully updated.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not a skin person. I'll leave that to the people who play Fortnite. Skins don't. Really.
I'm not either, but I'm just saying it does add some sort of value. It might not add $30 worth of value to you. That might only be worth $5 to you to get 200 costumes, but it does add value.
To those Fortnite players, I do apologize, but I'm not a Fortnite player.
I don't apologize to any Fortnite ever.
So I'm not.
I don't have your back, Fortnite. I think what you're doing is ridiculous.
So for me, I think $20 would I would pay $20 for this. That I buy it, yes, because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But
so since you just started off giving prices, I mean, I'm gonna go and get my price, and I'm gonna get to some more of the specifics in the game. If you have never played this game before, or you bought the original and did not buy anything else after that or unlock anything, $60, because this is the full experience. This is the full game. Like all the stuff he was talking about with people complaining when Street Fighter V first came out, there's nothing to complain about with this game except that horrible storyline.
So wait, what were they complaining about?
That it just wasn't enough content. There wasn't enough.
They feel like they got half a game.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just like whatever.
So this one you're saying has tons of content?
It has all this stuff, and here's my problem. All these people complain that there was no storyline, there was no this and that. Well, they put one in there and it was trash. I'm going ahead and saying that right now. Yeah. The story mode in there under general was garbage. Like it was really, really hard to get through that. It was so bad. It was really, really bad.
I did like that Fang guy though. He cracked me up with his big old sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
He was like
poison.
No, don't get me wrong. It's different from what we grew up on, where you had pictures to tell the story. They had pictures in between to tell the story. This one, actually, there was more interaction.
Right. It was like a full on. Yeah. It was like watching a movie.
I think the story was just the story just wasn't that good, and 2, it just looks so stupid because you had people in normal settings having fairly normal conversations, but they had their full Street Fighter gear on. You got Cammy with a butt hanging out, just sitting there having a conversation like this is normal for me to just walk around like this.
Yeah.
You got Zangief jumping out of airplanes with his just tights on, his wrestling tights on, just standing there having conversations with people like we're planning out our next move, and it's like I don't have a tracksuit suit or a jacket or something to put on. It's just like I'm just here half naked having this conversation. And Guile just looks ridiculous with his little skin tight, button up shirt with the tie on with the sleeves cut off, and we're trying to have a serious conversation, and you just look stupid.
In his hair.
I mean, it was the whole experience was silly. Well, but that's what people wanted,
and that was what he was known for. That's Guile's hair has always been like that.
Yeah,
mohawk.
It just looked so funny though, like because everything. I love the graphics. Like I simply just wanted to watch it because of the graphics. But everything seemed very extra. Like the size of their legs, even the girls, they were huge. I was just like, oh my gosh.
But I think that was what so Chun-Li, that's what she's that's what she's known for. Even her move, the multiple kicks, is based upon her kicking stuff. So I don't think it was we've seen worse. We have seen worse when they accentuate body parts.
Yeah.
But
it just looked kind of funny though because she looks so tiny from like the waist up. She has this tiny little head. She's so pretty. I love her. And then she's got these huge legs. I'm just like, that looks weird.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm used to it with her, but I'm not used to it with all the other characters having not as big as legs as she has, but just super muscular defined legs.
Yeah.
Like I'm not used to that. Like Cammy, I'm not used to Cammy looking like that. Like
Cammy was muscular.
No, not in the old game. She was just skinny. Like it wasn't. She didn't have like big muscular legs.
I mean, she had muscle legs. I mean, but I don't think it was defined as it is now.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like, but that's graphics too.
But Chun-Li always had big legs.
Yeah.
And Zangief was always huge.
Right. Right.
Where Guile had small arms, and you never really could tell how big he really was.
Yeah.
Who was the girl? I cannot remember her name. Karen, the one with the blonde hair. She looks like Goldilocks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was up, but I loved her hair, how they did her hair, like the curls, and they just bounced perfect.
And I was fine with her just because a lot of times they were in her location and her outfit matched her location. And then you got, again, people running around with just drawers on, talking inside of like this estate, this restaurant.
Yeah.
It was just bad. But don't get it twisted. The game itself is awesome, especially if you're thinking about being a competitive gamer, especially as with a fighter. This is probably your best route to go. The fighting is technically sound, it's polished, it's refined. I don't see them changing a whole lot about it. I know they added the second V skill to add some parity to what was going on, because everybody gets on these Street Fighter tournaments and pretty much fights the same way. I am not a tournament fighter. I will just beat you up. Like, I'm not down with the tournament style fighting of this is how you have to or supposed to use Ken. If you're not using him this way, you're using him incorrectly. I will kick you in the face.
You just want to use them how you want to use them.
Right. Now, I get if I went to a tournament, I probably wouldn't do well because I don't block and I don't parry and I don't use him how you're supposed to use him. Like what you're saying, fireball, uppercut, like that's what you're supposed to do if you want to be successful in tournament play. I don't fight that way. So you can do both. And the online is still, the community is still there. So I think one of my main problems with this game, as far as having to buy the characters and all that, I think they did too much to try to make this game have longevity, and fighting games to me just don't. Like, these games are not designed by nature to be played for 5 years straight.
Yeah.
The people who do are either crazy, might be, or trying to be a competitive gamer.
Correct.
So you're practicing at this game to go to the tournaments. Yeah. I get that. But just your normal average gamer, nah, man. Like, I'm not playing this for more than 3 months, and that's a long time.
And I think
if you get 3 months out of it.
And I think that's why Mortal Kombat does things a little different. And it's a little bit more gruesome, just so you can play a little bit longer.
Mix it up a little bit. It's not just plain fighting.
I won't say that the mechanics are great.
They're not.
But, yeah.
So, anyway, like I said, again, if you never played this, $60. Terrence is saying $20 for this version.
For this version. Now, if you bought it if you got the original, then it was worth $60, because at the time you were like, wow. And even though it had its shortcomings, it was still good game. It was still a good game. And then 2 came out. It gave you more characters, and they had fixed the story before 2 came out.
Well, they just added some more story elements to it.
So I won't say that would be the reason.
Yeah, but this update, it was just the adding of the second V skill, along with more characters and more costumes. There was no real update to the game as far as any new modes or anything like that.
Do they ever add like new moves? Like when they do all these updates, is it usually just new characters?
Not that I know. I mean, the V skill, technically, having 2 V skills technically is a new move.
It's a new move.
But you can only choose one V skill.
Okay.
One or the other.
The Yoga Flame, the Fireball, they've never changed.
Okay.
They have never changed.
Yeah. No, they changed the timing of moves.
Yeah.
It's called priority. So if we both hit the same, he does his move and I do my move, which one takes priority if we do it at the same time?
Oh,
which when if you watch when we gamed together, there were a lot of times when we both jumped at the time.
Yeah,
I would be the first to hit him based upon the punch that I threw.
Oh, okay. Because yours has priority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you have that, and they change priority, and based off the changing of the priority of the certain moves changes the tiers of the characters. So like one of the first Street Fighter tournaments that happened, like Chun-Li was like whooping everybody.
Yeah.
Then they moved some of her priorities down and moved some other people's up, especially with the grappling moves. And then you had people like Alex, a lot of people using Alex and winning with Alex, because no matter what you did, my grapple takes priority, so I can just grab you and just throw you, and those do heavy damage. So doing those little changes like that does make a big difference in this game.
Yeah. Strategy.
Yeah. But it also just leans to I think they're just trying to create parity. Because if not, people would just keep using the same character.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it would be the same character winning every year. So now it's like you can still use that character, but you would be better off using this character that we changed some of the priorities on.
Correct. So like for Marcus, who only uses Ken, some of his priorities would be changed. And so therefore, either he would have to learn to use someone else.
He's saying that as if I don't know how to use somebody. Let's clear that up. I'll beat you.
You're going to need to learn that, okay?
Oh, well, yeah, we'll never know. Because every time
I offered to do random character. Remember when I was playing Donovan? Shout out.
Donovan.
And we were doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Based off who won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing him random characters.
You didn't give me that option.
I did give you the option. Dude, you can go watch the video was out there. I said if we get to 5-0, which we did, I would do random characters. You were like, no.
No, he didn't say random characters. He said, do you want to call this skunk?
No.
Because you are getting whooped.
Old people, man. Old people, they don't remember
Y'all
stuff.
should do the push-up challenge.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can.
Okay.
He's like, I'm down.
Oh, Lord.
Look here. It's not like we're out and about. It's not like we can get out and go to the gym or we can get out and go.
I mean, that was 6 years ago when you were doing the push-up challenge, wasn't it?
No.
14?
No.
Oh. Was that here?
No, it was at the other place.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think it was that long ago.
Well, 5?
Yeah, maybe 5.
Either way.
I can do the push-ups.
I ain't putting out a business in the street, but you got to go to work, so.
Yeah, I do.
You ain't going to be doing no push-ups nowhere.
Not today.
So anyway, just generally speaking though, how did you like the game? Because we've been talking for a long time.
I liked it. The story, no, it wasn't that great, but it was something different, so I kind of paid more attention than just fight, and that guy cracked me up, that Fang guy. And like I said, I just was mesmerized by the graphics. They were just so beautiful.
It's a clean game.
Yeah, graphics.
It's always been clean. I could say that. It's always been clean. And the mechanics make it even better. So you don't feel like it's non-real.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about those little arcade bits where it took you back to playing Street Fighter 2 and it had that same music, but you used the battle system was still the Street Fighter 5 battle system? I feel like they messed up there. Because they put out that Street Fighter collection. Remember? It was like $30 or something.
Yeah.
And it had all the old ones.
Correct.
I feel like they should not have put that out. I feel like if you would have included that with the arcade edition, but when you went and played Street Fighter 2, it was actually Street Fighter 2 HD remastered. I feel like that would have just been a better experience. I don't want to keep playing with Ken through Street Fighter 2. But it's Street Fighter 5 graphics and the Street Fighter 5 Ken. It was just kind of silly to me. It was an easy thing for them to put in quickly to say, "Hey, we got something different here." But it really wasn't anything different.
I mean, we're not trying to stop nobody from making their coins, but it wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't. But I think it was for those who to kind of bring some of those who didn't know about Street Fighter in. And it's much better for me to bring my girlfriend in who doesn't
shout out,
who doesn't game like that, and it's quicker for her because the mechanics. I think that it's easier for her on that one, on the one Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 2. Those now when it got to the alphas and stuff, maybe not so much, but I think that it was an introduction.
Yeah.
It's an introduction.
I think she can beat you.
No, she can't.
Street Fighter is kind of easy to play, even if you're not a gamer. Right. It's not hard because remember we tried that. What was the one King of Fighters I tried to play and I was like, oh,
that's just a bad game though.
I don't the mechanics I don't like it at all.
That's just a bad game. Shout out Mike. Shout out to Mike.
Well, it's SNK and it's now if you played it when Neo Geo.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was a little bit better play, like the earlier ones. The mechanics did change.
Well, I also feel like those mechanics back then were just the norm. The mechanics now are very similar to what they were back in '95, and that is not a good thing. Like they didn't advance enough.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But the advance is harder.
Yeah.
It is harder. It is harder.
Street Fighter's better. Anyway.
Truth.
Y'all ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
Wrap it.
Let's wrap up the show. Again, social media stuff. ANX Gamecast is still wherever we've been. So Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We will still be there. So if you're listening to us there, shout out, hit that like, subscribe, follow, whatever it says. Punch it one time for us. For everyone watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. Throw some comments down there. How about that?
Yeah, let us know.
Let's get the conversation going about Street Fighter and some of the topics that we did. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be the first one to get all of the updates.
That's it for today, guys. Thanks for listening to ANX Gamecast. Join us next week where we will have our full One Piece Stampede review. See you next time.